Life is a series of hellos and goodbyes. That's a famous lyric from Billy Joel's song Say Goodbye to Hollywood from the 1976 album Turnstiles.
Say goodbye, my
Um,
baby.
just wanted to welcome everyone into another edition of SeanMatthew's podcast. I thought we'd do something different this time, start off with maybe a lyric from a song, a great song at that. Because really, life is a series of hellos and goodbyes. It really what it comes down to. It's hellos and goodbyes. But anyway, Joe, how you doing today, Joe?
I'm doing pretty well, Sean. My birds are 10-1. They could be doing a little better. We'll get into that later. And for a Monday, I'm doing pretty damn well. How about you?
I'm doing okay. I had a long day at work today. I worked from 9 to 7:30, and then immediately after work, I went to the gym. Came back, ate a little something, took a shower, and now I'm ready to record this podcast. I'm ready to go.
Let's do it.
Okay, so I'm just thinking, like, do we want to open up with sports? Do we want to keep it to the end? I guess let's talk about it to open up. Eagles played this week. What do you think about the game?
And some people are going to say, see, a typical Philadelphia fan, never satisfied. I was not really thrilled, to be honest with you. And yeah, your team's 10-1. People say, oh, but see, Philly fan, they're never satisfied. Here's the thing. This team was playing at a high level for the first 7-8 games of the year, and then there was a slide off. During such time, they were able to squeak out some wins against some bad football teams. Last night, I thought they would come out. I'm still waiting. I've been waiting for 4 games now for them to snap out of this funk and back into where they should be. There was absolutely, positively no need for that game last night to be close. There just was no reason. The one touchdown the one touchdown that Rodgers threw in the end zone there, that was a laser. The coverage wasn't even bad. It was right on. I think it was the first touchdown he threw. All right, fine. But after that, things got a little wishy-washy. That last touchdown that the kid threw, Love, and it was a crossing route where the guy took it all the. I mean, this kind of stuff, defensively, I'm starting to get really, really concerned. Offensively, I'm not as concerned because I do know when all else fails, we'll say, all right, boys, stick your hand in the ground and move the guy in front of you, and we're going to make this happen however we have to make it happen. Move people off the ball and run this thing, okay? And I'm actually pleased with my quarterback, the way he's been throwing the ball. I mean, knock on wood, he has very few interceptions this year. He's doing things with the ball and making good decisions, and he's playing pretty doggone well. He's not in the upper echelon yet, but he's playing pretty doggone well. We've got A.J. Brown, who's not 100%, and that shows. It shows in his inability to get up, because he's a beast when he's healthy. He's not getting as open as he normally does, and the fact that we're missing Dallas Goedert, next to Kelsey, might be the best tight end in football.
Come on, let's not get carried away here.
Oh, no, I'm okay. Well,
George Kittle.
Okay, all right. Okay, let me rephrase it. He's a doggone.
Darren Waller.
Well, after Kittle, I'd say no. I'd say I'll give you Kelsey and Kittle. After that, I'm going Dallas Goedert all day long, and you can ask Ryan Clark. You can ask
I'm a little bit.
Anybody.
I'm a little bit sore about Goddard because I wanted the Cowboys to draft Dallas Goedert.
Yeah, but Sean, the guy is a beast, and he's a big part of what we do, and his absence is felt. So offensively, I'm not as concerned because I know certain things are going to get back to where they were. Defensively, especially in the city of Philadelphia, I thought when they went out and got Joseph and Dominic and Sue that they'd shore up things, but it seems like they're still getting run on. And yeah, they're winning, but they're winning games by a touchdown or less that they should be winning by 20 points. So I'm just really, really concerned. Maddox has been out. Maddox is responsible for, a lot of those crossing routes and so forth. He's in the slot a lot, and he's very good, but he seems to be hurt a lot. And this year he's hurt again. And last night we just got another injury in the secondary.
I don't want to interrupt you, but do you think if Rodgers doesn't get hurt, do you think the Packers win that game?
No, I think we still win a game.
Okay.
I think we still win that game last night because even when he was in there now, I mean, he had a couple of those good drives. Then to their credit, as much as I'm complaining, they did tighten it up quite a bit there too. And he was 3 and out quite a bit. So I don't really think like that one last crossing pattern to which I just referred. Yeah, Rodgers makes that play too, but I mean, it's I think they still win that football game last night. But my point is, and I don't say this to be arrogant, but that's a really bad Green Bay Packer team they played, and they should have won by at least 10, probably more. You go back a week before, the Colts, they should have never been in the position they were in. I thought even playing poorly, they'd win by 10. It's just been a while now. And for whatever reason, they can't get it together. And that's not mentioning the special teams on this ball club, which is horrible. So I am afraid, unless I start seeing some vast improvement, that they're going to be a quick out in the playoffs. And we're going to be sitting here
I want to
again.
give you some hope here, Joe, because it looks like the NFC East is actually the best division in football. The Eagles are 10-1. The Cowboys are 8-3. The Giants are 7-4. The Commanders are 7-5. And if you look across the league, every division kind of sucks. So, I mean, NFC North, the Vikings are 9-2. Then every team below them, the second place team is the Lions, and they're 4-7. Then the NFC South, the first place team is the Bucks. They're 5-6. Everyone else is below that, obviously. NFC West, the Niners are 7-4. Okay, the Seahawks are 6-5, but the Seahawks didn't they lose to the Raiders this week? So, but then you go to the AFC. The AFC East, they're respectable this year. They're actually, I think AFC East and NFC East might be the two best divisions overall, but the Dolphins are in first, then it's the Bills, and but here's the thing: the Jets are 7-4, the Patriots are 6-5. I don't think the Patriots and the Jets are kind of any threat at all. But then you go to the AFC North. The Ravens and the Bengals are atop 7-4. You got to remember the Bengals are missing Jamar Chase for a couple weeks. Then the AFC South, Titans are 7-4, but then after that, the Colts are 4-6. They're in second place, and it goes down. AFC West, the Chiefs are 9-2, the Chargers are 6-5, but then the Raiders and the Broncos are obviously terrible. So when you actually think about it, what I just told you, Joe, it sounds like the NFC East is probably the best division in football. So I think you're being, and I know these games that you're frustrated with are versus other, bad teams, quote unquote. And also the Eagles' schedule the rest of the year is pretty friggin' easy. They're playing the Giants twice. I think they're playing the Bears. They're playing the Cowboys again. They really don't have a hard schedule. Either there's the Cowboys. So I just think you have to have a little bit, better expectations, than the first round of playoffs exit,
I am, and I say this just in momentary frustration, because right now it's a little frustrating, especially the defense. But what I'm looking at is I have concerns about the Dallas Cowboys, and I have concerns about the San Francisco 49ers, to be honest with you. Nobody else really concerns me. I said all along the Vikings were smoke and mirrors. The Dallas Cowboys and the San Francisco 49ers. And if they were to have to play either one of those two teams this week, I would be beside myself the way my ball club is playing. I wouldn't pick them if I were betting. My heart would pick them, but my money wouldn't pick them because of what they're showing me. So fortunately, they don't play this Dallas game for another month or so, 3 weeks, whatever it is. But they had better tighten up the screws defensively, or they're going to get their asses kicked. Not just beat, but they're going to get their asses kicked. Dallas can run it at you. And Dallas, see, that's the thing. When we talk about division, it's interdivision play. And Dallas knows this football team really well because they play them twice a year.
Yeah, but I think Sirianni's a better coach than McCarthy. And I think that Hurts is a better quarterback than Dak. So you have the better coach and the better quarterback. So,
Well, I would say you're probably correct in both statements, but not by much right now. I'd say Sirianni probably is a better coach of McCarthy. I don't think McCarthy's ever been a very good coach. I just really don't.
He basically won a Super Bowl because he had Aaron Rodgers, right?
Thank you. And he was there. It took him. I mean, with that squad they had, they could have won with Aaron Rodgers. You should have won 2 or 3. So, and I just don't think he. Okay, and I all due respect to Dak, I think that if you were to ask me right now, going to start a football team, you can have either one of those guys you want as your quarterback. I'm picking this kid all day, but I'm saying too that neither of those fellas is on the A list yet. My guy being Hurts has time yet to develop I guess Dak does too, but he's in his 5th or 6th year now, isn't he? I mean, it's been a while, but I'd rather have, but in each case, I'd say yes, better coach, better quarterback, but in either scenario, not by very much. But when I'm looking at defense, I think it's not that. I mean, the Cowboys have shown holes in that defense too.
But the Eagles are getting back that stud, their rookie, the guy who was out for a little bit. They're getting him back. He's going to plug up the middle, right? Because they already got Sue and Joseph for the time being. Yes. Once they get back that guy, what's his name? Corey something or?
Oh, you know his name. I just think that you're playing with me. You like to play with me a little bit.
Especially not on live radio. I'm not going to,
yeah, especially on that you're going to say, I can't remember his name. Davis is the kid's name. He was
Jordan Davis, right?
He was the best defensive lineman on the #1 defense in the country, Georgia, last year. That's why I know you know his name, but it's okay.
No, it's one of those things that wasn't on the tip of my tongue, so I was hoping that you know it, but me and Joe have this thing when we're talking about sports or whatever. If we have a name that we can't remember, we're not the type of people to pull out our phones and Google the name. We want to think of it naturally. We're like,
yes,
think of this. It's on the tip of our tongue. Let's think of the name. So, a lot of times we'll think of the name, but that one time at work, back in the day, we were just thinking about that guy, the Eagles player name for a while. It took us like 15 minutes and we got it eventually though.
I don't know why it's one of those things where as an Eagle fan, I should be ashamed, but I think it was in the off season. It was in the summertime, Sean. It just wouldn't come to me, his name, but it was Lane Johnson. I mean, he's the premier right tackle in football. If not one, maybe two. I mean, I mean, everyone knows Lane Johnson. It's
are you still in, like, you're a hardcore Eagles fan, right? Are you still like enjoying, watching the Eagles, or is it more stressful because you have higher expectations now?
Oh, it's enjoyment. And look, here's the reality of it. You got 32 teams in a cutthroat business, and everybody wants to walk away with that Lombardi trophy, and 31 teams walk away with their head down every year. It's tough. It's tough. So, and I'm just going to tell you right now, the reality, the probability that we win the Super Bowl this year is probably low. It's just because it's yet to be one out of,
You're saying 32. In the NFC, Dallas and San Francisco scare you. What about the AFC? Who scares you from that? The Chiefs? The Chargers?
The Chiefs, because of that quarterback. I don't know about what about the rate? Like, say that this happened. This is probably not going to happen, but say it does. What if it's the Ravens versus the Eagles? How confident are you? You guys can handle the Ravens, right? Yeah, I can't see the Ravens getting there though. Well, I mean, it's one of those things. Can you see the Dolphins? That's another thing too. The Bills too. You got to look out for. The Bills remind me a lot of the Eagles right now, because it's a team that when they started the season and they're thinking, oh, wow. As a matter of fact, there's one point during like week 5 or 6. But I said to you, they don't hand out the trophy at Halloween. And that's why I said that, because it's early. But there's one point where you could see, like, wow, I could see Eagles in the NFC. I could see the Bills in the AFC as a Super Bowl. Just as a quick, it crosses your mind, like if you were to pick two teams now. But the Bills remind me of the Eagles right now, because it's a team that has a lot more capability than right now it's showing. And what's happening right now, and I mean that, what's happening right now to either team? Are they really just going to slide down and stay there, or is it just a lull? Because both teams are showing that. Both teams are showing it the same kind of way. I mean, the Bills, I thought, who'd they beat recently? They beat a bad team by like a touchdown. No, they barely beat the Lions. There you go. It was a field goal game. It's a field goal game. Yeah, it was the Thanksgiving game. Right. Now, some of it is the same thing. It's like, last week we beat the Colts. Now, we played one of our worst games and they were coming out of their socks, and yeah, it was a close game. But who's good and who isn't good? I mean, that Lions team started off poorly, but I'm going to tell you that guy's got them really playing some good. They went in and beat the Giants by 10 or 12 points. And this is a couple weeks ago when the Giants were still playing fairly well, and they went into the Meadowlands and beat them. Well, isn't there? I think their coach is Dan Campbell. Is another former player. Yeah. He actually played for the Cowboys for a little bit. So it's one of those things where the Colts have Jeff Saturday, the Lions have Campbell. It seems like these former, like, rah-rah type coaches can have some success for sure. Whereas in the past, people thought, the rah-rah doesn't always work. And rah-rah being, fire your guys up, be
be like one of the players, one of the guys in the locker room, and really be one with them. But it seems like there's something to it with some of these hires.
Well, that's going belly up in a lot of cases too. And really, we don't have a large enough sample size either way, right? Even with Campbell, especially not with Saturday, but either with Campbell, we don't know yet.
Well, just
But
the initial, like just the
he's
locker
making a
room, the
difference.
players believe
Yeah.
in them.
Yeah. And you could just see in that ball club that, I mean, the Giants were playing some pretty solid football. And they went in on the road. This Giants team went in. I thought they got no shot. And they went in there and they not only beat them, they beat them convincingly. And then they took the Bills all the way the distance, So, I mean, and they had won 3 in a row going into that Bills game, the Lions did. So it's hard to tell really who's good and who isn't good. And then you get well, this team played this team, so if they beat them, they should beat them. That associative thing, that doesn't work anymore. And it never really worked, but especially in a season like this.
It all comes down to matchups, right?
All comes down to matchups, and that's another reason why any honest Eagle fan will tell you that the Cowboys are a big concern because they just seem to to really know us well. Now that could be said for either Cowboy fans, I'm sure, think the same thing too, that and that's another thing that's real quietly this team in Washington, I will always call them the Redskins because I don't find it offensive, and you know me, political correctness is listen.
I respect that you're still you're speaking your mind and you're still open about it. You're not afraid of being canceled because you're still calling the Washington Commanders the Redskins. I don't think you're doing anything wrong by believing in their former name.
Exactly right, and it's Sean. If anybody, if anybody knows me, color means nothing. Color and race and all it means nothing to me. I love everybody. I really, really, truly, truly do. And I think that's actually one of the things that I love about America is that we have a little bit. Yes, and I love that. I do. I really love that. So, but the term Redskins and that emblem with the feathers coming on, it's part of my childhood. It's part of football. It's part of the legend of the National Football League.
Don't the fans like dress up as like pigs or something like that?
Yeah, hogs. Because in the 1980s they had an offensive line that was legendary. They did with Russ Grimm and Bostic and they were unbelievable. And Riggins running behind them. I mean, I hated them, but they had a legendary offensive line and they nicknamed themselves the Hogs. It's not the most flattering thing in the world, but this is football. This is football players. It could be a compliment. The Hogs down in the mud, getting dirty, and it was just, it's one of the things that irritates me to no end. It really does. I mean, where do we stop with this stuff? I mean, the next thing you know, people are going to come along and say, well, we tall people who are just grow as adults to be larger than 7 feet tall, and there are a lot of us. We feel like the term giants is really, really offensive to us. I mean, that could be your next. I mean, really. I mean, it sounds outlandish, but it's no more outlandish than what's wrong with saying the Cleveland Indians? What the hell's the big problem?
Now they're the Guardians. I just think society in general has gotten a little bit out of hand with the cancel culture and the being too sensitive about, obviously,
well, there are things that warrant cancel and things that don't warrant cancel.
But if we spoke to some Native Americans, I don't even know if they did a study on this. If they were highly and deeply offended by the name Redskins, then, that would get me rethinking the whole thing. But it's like, I don't think when people were calling the Redskins by their name when they were the Redskins, that I don't think it was one of those things where there was any hidden racism.
And it's not only that, your skin isn't red, is it? Is your skin literally red unless you go out and get a sunburn? Is your skin red? No. Okay, then we're not talking.
That was part of
Well, here's the thing too. Part of my lineage is Irish, right? Scots Irish is part of my lineage. The Notre Dame mascot is a little Irish leprechaun with his fists up and this and that. All right. Or anytime someone makes a joke about Irish and, oh yeah, and the drinking and this and that, you know what I mean? Like, It doesn't bother me. It's something to laugh at. And everyone knows that just because you're Irish doesn't mean you go out and get bombed every night and drink, you know, or stand there in a green uniform and put your fist up and want to fight. These are just little things, little fun stereotypes that aren't even, I mean, it's just, now it would be like me saying, I find that to be offensive. I don't walk around with a pipe hanging out my mouth and a big stovepipe, a hat, and a green sport jacket and pointy elf shoes. And I don't do that. And just because I'm Irish, you think I dress like that or I drink? Come on. No, I don't. I mean, but the things that offend, quote unquote, offend us these days are just really, really ridiculous. One of my favorite, God rest his soul, but Dr. Wayne Dyer. He used to talk about life, and just check him out sometime. I still listen to a lot of his stuff. But he was talking one time about getting offended. And he said, you know what, guys, if you're going to get up in the morning every day and look for reasons to be offended, you're going to find them. But here's the thing. Stop looking for reasons to be offended. And it makes so much sense. Stop being so ridiculous. All right. If I go out looking tonight for a lot of reasons to things that offend me and really overturn stones and really, really look for things, yeah, you're probably going to find them. Well, why don't you just occupy your mind on something else and stop looking for reasons to be offended? Yeah, I digress.
I think the whole thing was about a general change in tone and attitude in general society in America, where they're just trying to be so inclusive and so welcoming. And they felt like for the image of the NFL, to have the name Redskins, that obviously they would need to change it. It's so offensive after we look at it with hindsight, and it became a whole thing. And I know there's a large percentage of people out there, especially the sports fans, who are just like, man, we really missed the name the Redskins, but they did what they had to do and they had their reasons. And obviously, it hits a nerve with certain people, especially sports fans. But just wanted to move on really quickly, but stay on sports for now.
But one more thing. I digress. That football team, everyone should watch, because I like the way they're being built. I don't like them because they're in our division, but they're starting to turn things around a little bit down there. But go ahead, Sean.
The Commanders, you're saying?
Yeah.
Well, what about the quarterback? Is Heineke the future?
He's not the future, but he seems to be more than adequate for right now. I'm not saying they're going to win the Super Bowl this year. I'm saying they're turning that program around now. And I guess,
though, do you think is Dan Snyder, because he's in hot water with certain things? Is Dan Snyder going to, once he sells the team, is that going to be the whole changing of the guard? Is that going to turn their franchise around? Because everyone has hated Snyder for years.
Well, what I hope is that he remains owner of the team, because I can't stand. Look, they're in our division. They're a rival. I mean, I wish they would have kept their name, because it's part of the lure. It really is. It's part of the folklore, and it's part of, but I don't want to see them do well. They're our arch enemy. So if I don't want to see them do well, I hope Snyder's the owner for the next 30 years.
Well, did you see his most recent thing? Remember Sean Taylor, the player who tragically was murdered?
Yeah, they put a mannequin up. It's pretty weak.
But it wasn't even a statue. It was like a friggin' like wiry mannequin with like a jersey and a helmet. I thought that was just really tasteless.
It was really, really weak. And I just don't, it was almost like it was intentional, like I'm going to intentionally give this as little effort as I can. And why, I don't know. Maybe he was giving the middle finger to some people. I don't know. Maybe to the league, to the commissioner. I don't know. I don't know. I saw that though, and it's very weak.
Yeah. So what's some of your sports phrase pet peeves that you were talking about?
Oh yeah, you and I were talking the other day, and this list is fluid. This list, I'll have one of these every third show or something. But just some of these things, and you watch enough sports shows, and you get tired of hearing certain phrases. Here's one. Oh, and he's so fast, he could take the top off a defense. What the hell's wrong with just saying he can burn a defensive back? You know, he could take the top off a defense. You got people saying this that don't even know what the hell they're talking about. It just, oh, he could take a top off a Okay, so take the top off a defense. It's not a jar of peanut butter. Okay, just say he's fast and he can burn people. Right? That's one thing. Here's a baseball one for you, and you hear this all the time. Okay. Oh, you know, I don't mind if the pitcher gives up one run here or there, but he's got to stay away from the crooked numbers. The crooked numbers. Just say what the hell you're talking about. Say, look, I don't mind if he gives up a run every once in a while, but when he gets into these multi-run innings, just say more than one. Just say the crooked numbers. I got news for you. Even the number one is crooked if you write it correctly. There's a little up top. So, crooked numbers. Here's another one. Oh, the lineman got his big paw up there. I mean, Jesus, God, Jesus, forgive me for using your name in vain, but the lineman got his paw up there. Like the connotation is that, you know, he's so big, he's like a bear or something. He's got a paw. He doesn't have a hand. He's got a paw. Okay. Baseball again. Launch angle. Oh, and you could see he hit the ball. It was a fastball, and the launch angle was 46.2 to. When did we ever start with this? I mean, he smashed the ball. All right. He smashed it and he hit it high. Okay. Launch angle. Here's another one that's all over for whatever sport. Oh, such and such. I think he's a generational talent. Generational talent. Overused again. Overused. And what the hell? You know, just stop it. We never heard these words before. Again, with baseball, the exit velocity. The exit velocity, when did they start calculating this? And I mean, look, you know, Mike Schmidt and Johnny Bench and people like Jose Canseco are saying, look, we crush the balls just as hard as they do now. But when did we start with this? Oh, and the exit velocity was 119 point. Stop it. We're getting too technical. All right. Another term that drives me nuts is instead of saying, hey, you know, let's not get ahead of ourselves or let's relax, pump the brakes. Oh, they pump the brakes. And sometimes I watch these sports shows on TV, these talk shows, and guys will use these. And another guy will talk about 3 minutes later and he'll use the same one again. Let's have to pump the brakes on that. Okay. And the last one for today. This is such a ridiculous, I can't believe I have to say it again, but goat. And now they're using it.
I actually like that one.
Well, they're using it now in not only singular, but plural. Like, oh, he's one of the goats. You're contradicting yourself. You're saying goat is greatest of all time. And you're saying, oh, he's one of the goats, as in plural. Wait a minute. I don't get you. If greatest of all time has to be one, but he's one of the goats. It's one of those terms that really just, I find it so overused, so ridiculous that it drives me insane. But those are my personal words right now. Talk to me next week or the week after. I'll have about 6 more for you. Because
what about the Monday morning quarterback? Or like, hey, you're being a Monday morning quarterback, armchair quarterback type of thing.
Yeah, the Monday morning quarterback. That's one that I haven't heard that one in a while, but yeah, I could do without that one for a while. But what else is happening?
Yeah, so I'm trying to make a tradition, do a bad gambling beat. So we're talking about the Eagles-Packers game. I had a small parlay on Aaron Rodgers throwing for at least 220 yards and throwing touchdown, or Christian Watson, the receiver, scoring at least one touchdown. So Rodgers, you know, the first quarter he had about 100 yards, and I'm like, okay, he'll probably hit the 220. It depends on if Watson can score. But then Rodgers gets his ribs hurt or whatever it is. And then he's at 140 yards in the third quarter. They take him out. He leaves the game on his own will, or the coach, I don't know. He looked like he was in pain because I don't know if he's the type of guy who would want to take himself out unless it was necessary. But then Jordan Love comes in, and he throws a friggin' like 75, 80 yard, or maybe even less, but it's a really long, like short pass to Christian Watson. He takes it to the house for the touchdown. So I'm like, oh my God, that could have been Rodgers, and that would have put Rodgers over 200. But it was one of those things that always happens in gambling, these bad beats. You see it every night on Van Pelt when he hosts Sports Center.
Yeah.
it's like this one is not horrible in the realm of like bad beats, but for me personally, it's like, man, if Rodgers was in and never got hurt and he would have thrown that pass and Watson would have scored, but it's not like I put a lot of money on it. Like we always say, don't bet what you can't lose, but I just like winning. And this really annoyed me. And another thing that annoyed me today was the Portugal Uruguay World Cup game. I just put a fun little bet on Cristiano Ronaldo scoring 2 goals. So he scores the first goal around the 54th minute. And I'm thinking, okay, he's got a shot for 2. And they take him out. He's like Portugal's best player, despite being really old. They take him out around the 82nd minute because I'm thinking they're trying to protect the lead. They're trying to, park the bus and just win the game. But then 6 minutes later, they get a penalty kick, and Bruno Fernandes, he's one of my favorite players on Manchester United, but he takes the penalty kick and scores. But Ronaldo's known for taking penalty kicks, and it would have been his penalty kick. So there's both situations where the player that I need to perform to win my bet is out of the game, and it's just one of those things that's frustrating. So, but I know, Joe, you're not a big gambler, but
That's okay. I can still
appreciate.
your frustration with, and I watch Van Pelt do those things too. And that's a lot of times I'll see that and I'll think to myself, damn, I'm glad I'm not real. I don't gamble that much because it would irritate the hell out of you. But that's why gambling is what it is. I mean, you just look at the casinos. I mean, there's marble everywhere and chandeliers and money everywhere because they're saying the house doesn't really lose. I mean, it's a difficult thing, that gambling thing. So
yeah, they have all these supercomputers and it's such down to a science. It's like whenever I see the spread, a lot of times it'll be really within that number. It's like these computers have it all figured out.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to talk about we're talking about annoying things that happen to us when we're out in public places.
Right.
Recently I went to an Elton John concert at MetLife Stadium where the Giants and the Jets play. I had great seats. It was like 9 rows center. It was on the football field, which there's a concert, so it wasn't a football field for this concert, but it was on where the field is. 9 rows from the stage, dead center. I get to the concert. I got into the concert. I'm in a good mood. I'm sitting down in my seat. And then I sit down. I have this nice cheesesteak that I got. Not saying the stadium cheesesteaks are good or anything, but it was just like, I was hungry. It was a fresh, hot cheesesteak. I was ready to eat. I got to my seat. All the worrying was away, like driving to the stadium and finding my seat and getting in, parking, all that. Because big football stadiums can be intimidating for anybody who hasn't been to concerts a lot. And this one I actually was by myself. Because sometimes I go to movies and concerts by myself because it's just one of those things. I don't have to deal with other people's schedules. I enjoy myself, and it's it's fun.
If you have a good time, sure.
Yeah, a lot of people will judge that, but it's something that I like to do. So,
no, you don't worry about a lot of people. You have to worry about what you like to do.
It was one of those things where I never been to concerts by myself. But as I got older, I'm 36 now. A lot of my friends started having families and kids and getting jobs elsewhere in other states and far away, and so we haven't really been able to can see each other all the time. And as you're older, it's tough to meet other adults and friends and develop real relationships, because a lot of people at work don't want to really be friends with their coworkers a lot of the time. So anyway, I was at the Elton John concert by myself. I got the cheesesteak. I get to my seat, and there's a girl sitting next to me with a dress on with her boyfriend, and I'm biting them. I took one bite in my cheesesteak, and she says to me, "Be careful with that cheesesteak." I'm like, "Be careful with the cheesesteak? What do you mean?" She's like, I don't want you to get any of the stuff on. There's ketchup on the cheesesteak. I had fries, I think, and the big cheesesteak and everything. And it's like, she's worried about me getting crumbs or cheesesteak on her dress. And I'm thinking, wow, now I got to be self-conscious about eating. But in that moment, I made the decision because I didn't want to have bad vibes the rest of the concert. I wanted to, get along with the people sitting around me and everything. And I literally put the cheesesteak under my seat and never ate the rest of the cheesesteak the rest of the concert. I spent $15 in the cheesesteak.
Oh.
But I let the girl get to me. It was one of those things. I'm by myself. They're probably judging me.
I would have said, Miss, could you just do me a favor and keep your scruffy elbow out of my cheesesteak?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I could have had these comebacks and I could have stood up for myself. And it's one of these things I'm working on. But I literally put the cheesesteak under my seat and didn't eat it the rest of the show. And my friends were judging me and stuff. And it's one of those things I enjoyed the Elton John concert immensely. I never saw him at a concert before. It's in his farewell tour. It was an awesome concert. I don't want to take away from the concert. The whole night was amazing. But, I look back in that moment. I'm like, should I have just ate my fucking cheesesteak? And
Yeah, and of course I jest when I say keep your elbow out of my chin. But what I probably would have said to her is, well, I'm going to do the very best I can, but I'm hungry and I'd like to eat. I mean, I'm sure if you watch out and I watch out, we'll be okay. Something like that.
yeah, I
I
mean,
mean, that I would have said. That I would have said
yeah, I really should have, but it was one of those
in a
things.
polite
Like
way.
she also could have switched seats with her boyfriend. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
I didn't want to say like you could switch seats with your boyfriend because I was still evaluating the whole situation.
Yes.
Like she
Like,
was sitting next to me, and then at that point, I kind of picked up on it that was her boyfriend, the way they were interacting. But I just sat down and just, it's just one of those things, and I got to be stronger in those situations. I got to really,
I think it was pretty
not be
audacious of
rude.
her to say that to you. I
Yeah,
really do.
exactly. Not so the rest of the show, like, because you're close, the seats are close to each other, and you're gonna like bump into the person. You're dancing and singing and stuff. There's gonna be some unintentional physical contact. So the rest of the show, I'm on pins and needles. I'm like, I don't want to bit my elbow in this girl. I don't want to bump into her. I don't want to get anything on her dress.
And you know what else too? Context means a lot too. If she were just like smiling at you, kind of like, oh, geez, don't get any of that on me, like in a friendly, tongue in cheek
Yeah,
type
it
of
was a
way.
weird. It was a weird
That's
mix. Like
different.
it wasn't like she wasn't giving off totally friendly vibes. And the dress, I got to be honest, the dress wasn't like super nice. It was just like a normal. I don't know how girls' clothes are different than guys' clothes, but like
Maybe
it's
she had
a
a
normal
dry sense of humor.
summer.
I don't know.
It could have been. Yeah, I look back on that too. I'm like, did she really mean that? Did she just have a super dry sense of humor? And like, I don't know, but it was just one of those things that happened that I didn't. But here's the thing.
I feel bad for you that you felt so uncomfortable that you put the damn thing underneath and you went hungry. That to me, that's bullshit. Far away. I would like
But the
to
rest
go.
of the night, all is good that ends well. The rest of the night, I enjoyed the concert.
Yeah.
Elton John was awesome, even for his age. I had just seen Billy Joel for the first time about like a week before that at Madison Square Garden. And this began my run of concerts because the audience probably doesn't know this, but I went to about like 20 concerts since like late July, starting with Billy Joel and most recently with Dave Matthews Band at the Garden. And I saw the Killers, my favorite band, 3 times. I went to Washington, D.C. I went to Penn State. I went to Philadelphia, which is close. But yeah, it's just one of those things that I didn't let it kill my vibe, but I had like hindsight regrets about it. I'm like, man, should I just have finished my fucking cheesesteak that night? But anyway, I'm in a good mood because I got home from work today, and one of my favorite albums of all time by my favorite band is the Killers. It's called Hot Fuss. It's their debut album from June of 2004. This album is amazing from start to finish. Every song, I know, Joe, you're not a huge Killers fan, but to me, they're like the gold standard of like modern bands.
Well, I wouldn't say I don't
Bands
dislike them. It's just that I don't know too much of the stuff, but I've seen them on TV, and every song that I've seen, I kind of like, okay, that's cool, but I'm not a big fan. You're right, but go ahead.
So, but they're like my favorite band with guys my age who were born in my lifetime. Because my favorite of all time, probably, artist wise, is probably Bruce. He just did a phenomenal interview with Howard Stern, by the way, on Sirius, but now it's airing on HBO. It aired last night, but it's also on HBO Max and all those,
Will he be touring again anytime? Or
Bruce is actually touring. Yep, he's touring. He's coming up in the spring. He's doing like a worldwide tour. The thing about it, it's funny that you bring that up because the thing about it is the tickets are super expensive and everyone's complaining. And the same thing happened with Taylor Swift. The Taylor Swift tickets were so outrageous to the point where it was like impossible to get a ticket on Ticketmaster. And some of the tickets were selling for up to like $24,000 per ticket. And the lowest price ticket, even the nosebleeds, was $600. And Ticketmaster had to like do like a whole 180 and like I think they were doing like the sale over again or something because everyone was so outraged. But yeah, to bring up Bruce's touring again. But Taylor Swift is obviously much younger, but she's going to be doing like a big tour. But the ticket prices is kind of a hot button issue because they're like really high for some of these big time,
it's not the artist's fault. From everything I can derive, the artist, they say, hey, look, sell my tickets for this much. But then these, the Ticketmaster and these people, they jack up the price. And then I think it happens again. The people buy it and resell them. And I don't know exactly the logistics of it, but it's not really the artist's fault,
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's, you don't know what goes on behind the scenes, but it's probably like greedy agents, greedy people who run the stadium, greedy record companies. I'm using the word greedy really loosely here. They want to make money, obviously. And obviously it's not the same as it was with record sales. So they have to really make money on these tours, and they really got to capitalize on these tours. because the artists are not making a ton of money on like the actual people are not buying the albums a lot. They're paying monthly for a streaming service, and yes, the artists are getting royalties from Spotify, from Apple, etc. And some artists like Bruce have sold their whole catalog. Bruce sold his whole catalog for, I think over $100 million. So he's good with that. But I think it comes down to other people behind the scenes being a little bit too greedy, and they're not thinking about they're not putting themselves in the shoes. Because I always say you got to put yourself in someone's shoes to see what they're going through. People just want to see the Swifties. I think they call the Taylor Swift fans the Swifties. I'm not sure. But they want to see Taylor play, and the Bruce fans want to see Bruce play. And there's a lot of younger demographic with Taylor Swift. They might not be able to afford, $600 for nosebleeds, and because they couldn't get them in the general sale. That's kind of depressing to hear. They want to see their favorite artist, and they should. It's going to make their life. It's going to be a big moment in their life. There has to be something done about these ticket prices for sure.
And the artists, they need to be paid for what they do, but they're not going to starve if it's not like they need that price increase in those tickets. These people are already filthy rich to begin with, and they're artists. They're the best in the world at what they do. Your Bruce Springsteens and your Billy Joels, and I guess this Taylor Swift. I know she's a cutie. I don't know much about her music, but they're good at what they do, and they're already very rich. So it's not like they need these dramatic price increases that are happening. So yeah, some kind of regulation has to be.
So what do you think? I brought up my recent experience. This was July. One negative experience I had in an Elton John concert. Do you have anything that stands out to you, that something that kind of almost could have ruined your whole night? Something small that might have seen, but you thought about it after, wow, I should have, or something that annoyed you at a public place. It could be a restaurant picking up food. Is there anything that pops to your mind?
I'm sure it has.
Sorry to put you on the spot, but
No, I'm sure it has at some point. I don't think anything.
We'll save it for future shows. It's not a big deal.
I have to think about that one as with a good example. I just can't think of what I know that what I've been learning to do, and this is a little trick. When I get in a situation like that anymore, because I used to be very impatient, fly off the handle. When I get into a situation like that where I'm in an extremely long line and the person in front of you is they are trying to get every deal under the book, and they're calling in the managers to get this, and you're thinking, holy God, I just want to get the hell out of here. So, but what used to, and this comes with just age and learning, but what I've learned to do, and this is a little trick, is to say, I'm not going to get worked up right now. I'm going to exercise some patience, and I'm going to turn this negative into a positive. And you think, I'm going to make this an opportunity to learn some patience and to exercise some patience. So this isn't going to bug me. I'm going to look at it as a positive thing. This is an opportunity for me right now, right here and right now, to exercise patience. And believe it or not, it works.
I have the same mentality, but I'm always very calm, and I don't let my emotions get the better of me, and I'm really always in control.
That's good.
But the situation with the cheesesteak is interesting because I feel like I should have had more emotion, or I should have been more, I should have.
I just think you should have eaten, bro, because that to me, and really you should have just turned to her and said, oh, I certainly wouldn't want to do that. I'm going to do the best I can, but geez, I'm so hungry. And I would have said, I'm sure if we're both looking out, we won't have any problem like that.
Yeah.
In a very nice way. You know what I mean? But I feel bad that you felt so uncomfortable that you, now look, it didn't kill you or anything, but it's just, you should have, it bothers me that you had to do that because of something she said. Yeah.
So I want to bring up something else. You have Apple TV, right?
I do.
Okay. So I just watched a really good movie that I really enjoyed. It's called Spirited. It's with Will Ferrell and Ryan Reynolds. It's a musical version of, this is the IMDb description. It's a musical version of Charles Dickens' story of miserly misanthrope who is taken on a magical journey. So it's basically a musical version of, the Christmas classic. I think it's called,
dude, I can't do musicals. I just can't do
No,
them.
here's the thing though. So do you like the whole story about the Scrooge?
Yeah, and I've seen it 116 different ways. Yeah, it's cool.
But this is one of those things. I literally let that blind me, and I almost avoided the movie because it was a musical. But then I thought,
I just can't do them.
I like Will Ferrell. I like Ryan Reynolds. I'll check it out. The movie is phenomenal. I enjoyed it. It only has a 6.6 on IMDb, but as we talked about, the ratings don't always mean everything. I think it has a lower rating because it's a musical. I'm telling you, Joe, give it a chance. It's a very well-made movie. It's funny. It's heartwarming. You learn some things.
You know what?
The
I
music,
might.
the music, Will Ferrell and Ryan Reynolds are not trained singers, so the music doesn't sound like trained singers. And it's actually them singing. But the music, the songs that they sing are not that bad and they're not that annoying. You don't sound like a big Broadway guy, just from what I'm saying here. But like,
No, not at all. Listen,
uh,
but every once like one of the, I'm going to tell you, Jesus Christ Superstar. I don't like, I
my
can't
mom
stand it,
absolutely loves
but I
that movie.
dig that. Oh, I dig that. Every time and I've seen it done by so many different, people. I just, what's the buzz? Tell me what's happening. And I guess I like some of that music too. And the song itself, Jesus Christ
I'm just
Superstar.
telling you,
I
if
get chills every time I hear it. So,
you have,
but
you,
as a rule, I'm not a Broadway or musical kind of dude, man.
I mean, I enjoy Broadway when I'm actually on Broadway. Otherwise, if I see the singing and the random musical scenes and movies and stuff, I'm like, I'd save that for Broadway for just for me personally.
Mm-hmm.
But it's one of those things. It almost held me back from watching it, but someone I know told me to watch it. A couple of people saw it and like, I really enjoyed it. It's a Christmas season. It's a new Christmas movie. I love Christmas. I love watching holiday movies during the Christmas season, during the holiday season.
Okay, and I'm going to tell you right now, I wasn't going to do any top list or anything, but let's do a top three if we can tonight before the end of the show. Your top three favorite Christmas songs. All right, that's not going to require a whole lot of. Okay, so for you and I both. Okay, just keep that in mind, and then before we end the show, let's each give our top three Christmas songs. But I don't want to interrupt you. Go ahead.
I just want, you have Apple TV.
I do.
If you have the time, I'm just telling you, give it a chance. It's called Spirited. If you like Ryan Reynolds and Will Ferrell, there's no reason why you wouldn't like this movie. You could be a little bit annoyed and cringe. People will definitely cringe at some of the musical scenes, but it's fine. I really enjoyed it.
Okay, and I want to turn you on to something that I saw on Apple recently too. I was just like one night, I'm just going through the things and I thought, what the hell, I'll give this a try. But it's called Echo 3. And I watched the first 3 episodes, which constitute part 1. And now I'm waiting for, the next, but it was a really interesting, show. And each episode was like an hour long. And what you have is a guy who's in the special forces, like, I don't know, like Rangers or SEALs or one of the special forces. He's in it, and his brother-in-law is in the special forces, and the guy's wife is a scientist, works for the government, and I'm not going to give the whole thing away, but she gets kidnapped. And these guys, with their special forces talent and their connections, they have to try to, to rescue her. And it's I don't want to give the story away or anything like that. You can read a little bit about it, but it's called Echo 3, and it's got great reviews. All right. So check it out. It's on Apple TV.
So while we're on, I'm going to check it out for sure. So while we're on you tell me the top Christmas songs, what comes to mind is the John Lennon song "War Is Over." Happy Christmas.
And so this is Christmas. Okay, yeah, I got you.
Do They Know It's Christmas by the supergroup Band Aid? I think they're a supergroup. They're like some British and Irish thing from the 80s. They did it for Ethiopia for charity. Do They Know It's Christmas? And then if we're going for 3, I really love "All I Want for Christmas Is You" by Mariah Carey.
Wow. Okay.
Jingle Bell Rock's obviously a classic.
Let's do 5. You're at 4 now. Go ahead and do one more.
Jingle Bell Rock is up there.
Mm-hmm.
So I did the Lennon, I did the Band-Aid one. Man.
So let's do it again.
Maybe Rocking Around the Christmas Tree.
Rocking Around the Christmas. So give me your 5 again.
Oh man. So Do They Know It's Christmas by Band-Aid. The War Is Over, it's called Happy Xmas, but it's Happy Christmas by John Lennon.
Wow.
All
Okay.
I Want for Christmas Is You by Mariah Carey.
Okay.
Um, and then you told me to add two more. You put I could
You're
edit this
doing,
in the
yeah.
future episodes, but like Jingle Bell Rock and Rocking Around the Christmas Tree. You know,
Okay.
those are like songs they're not just like jingle bells, that type of thing. So if they have more, they're more like real songs in my opinion.
Yeah, that's cool. Now
So what about you?
I'm more of a traditionalist. Um, and it's, I would probably say, um, well, I mean, and I don't care who does it, but to me, Oh Holy Night is the first,
Well, so you got real classic.
I do. I mean and I don't care who's doing it or whatever. Um, I've never heard that some versions are better than others, but Oh Holy Night, Little Drummer Boy. Bum, 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 bum. It always,
Did David Bowie do a version of that song?
David Bowie did a version of it with Bing Crosby.
Because that's
And it
the
was
songs
like old
involved.
school and new school meet. And that was really, really neat. And I remember seeing it on the show. I forget what show it was on, but I was about 10 years old when they did that. And it was just looking like, wow, that's pretty cool. So I'm at Oh Holy Night. I'm at, the one I just
I
told,
don't want to
Little Drummer
interrupt. I
Boy.
don't want to interrupt you, but I have to bring this up really quick. Do you think that the "Mommy Kissing Santa Claus" is a song that should be canceled? Because we're talking about canceling stuff earlier.
No, I don't. I don't
Okay.
because it's cute and it should be. Yeah, like I said, I mean, we'll get into that in a second, but no, I do not think that should be canceled. The next one is it's actually a song that was not a Christmas song originally, but it was turned into one. So I'm going to call it, and count it, but it's a song called Green Sleeves. Okay. And it was really, when it became a Christmas song, they renamed it. What Child Is This? Okay. But Green Sleeves. Just tremendous, just tremendous. Okay, so those are three, and I'm going to try to get a couple. Well, you know what? I'm just going to have to stay traditionally. Silent Night is beautiful. It really is. Silent Night.
There's actually one by the Temptations who sings that too.
Yeah, Silent Night is just. And I'm going to try to pick something a newer one. Oh, you know what? It's a newer one that you wouldn't think but I can remember this from the time I've just started, like um, you know, partying a little bit. There's just kind of way back in the day when it's just the right age and right time, and talking about Bruce. But Santa Claus Coming to Town,
Oh, that's a great one. Yeah.
because
You
music
put me on the
triggers
spot
memories.
for the list, so I'm gonna I have that's not my like dead set in stone list. I mean, because as I'm looking at some Christmas songs here, a couple other ones that I really like is "Run Rudolph Run."
Yeah, yeah.
I think this is the one. "Please Come Home for Christmas" by the Eagles. See, I really like when like modern artists, like real legitimate like rock stars, do like Christmas songs. I think that adds a whole different level to it.
Yeah, and it's like I do too, but I have to like go to the core of it first. Like that Bruce song that I just mentioned. It's like what I listed four classics and then one, but I just wanted to pick one from that genre. But just the way he built up to that too, with the hey, the wind whipping down the boardwalk and this and that. It's just really cool the way he did it. And then the drums coming in, he's making a list. But I wanted to tell you, and you like Christmas songs and you like Christmas music and so forth, and it depends on who, different artists. I wanted to turn you on to something. I've known about it for years, but it's a group called Mannheim Steamroller. It's a strange name. Mannheim Steamroller Christmas. Now, these are all instrumentals, but they do such an incredible job at these things. And they're such a unique sound. But they did a couple of Christmas albums, and many of the songs that I just listed are on there. And it's their version of them, too, that's unbelievable. Like
And
their
one,
version of Oh Holy Night.
you got me thinking
Make you
about like
stop what you're doing.
these instrumental songs. There's actually one that I really like. Um, it's called "Christmas Eve" / Sarah Yevo 12/24, which is Christmas Eve. It's by the
Hmm.
Trans-Siberian Orchestra. I believe
Yeah.
it might be from Home Alone. I'm not sure, but that song is friggin' awesome.
Yeah, like the Trans-Siberian Orchestra, it's like a unique sound. Well, same thing with and it's cool. You sit there and listen to it, it's like, wow, this is neat. There's no words necessary. The music is so beautiful. It's the same thing with Mannheim Steamroller, particularly their Christmas stuff. But just great. Just give it a listen sometime. And I mean, if you want to start, just listen to either well, you can there's several that they did. There's upbeat stuff, there's slow, like Oh Holy Night. Um but there's some faster stuff that they do, faster Christmas songs. So it's not just the slower, deeper stuff, but they're really talented. And I'm telling you, someone showed me about Mannheim Steamroller. I think it was 1994. I'm like, what is this? What is it? Oh, okay. Wow, this stuff is great. This is neat. And every Christmas since, I've listened to it, and I have a lot of it. Check it out. That's all. Not
Yeah.
only you, but anybody listening.
I have to give a shout out to the Killers because they are like my favorite band. They did a Christmas album which has a lot of like comedic songs on it.
Hmm.
I believe the album is called "Don't Waste Your Wishes." Some of the songs are actually like they're unique and clever. I think you should actually listen to it just like if you want some humor combined with some Christmas stuff. But there's like songs about like getting coal in your stocking. It's called "I Feel It in My Bones." Um, you know, and then there's like "Don't Shoot Me, Santa." Like there's like it's like takes it to a different level of like different like types of Christmas songs. But I really back in the day, when I heard some of the Christmas songs by the Killers, I did enjoy it. It's just a whole different spin on Christmas songs. It's unique.
Yeah, and there's myriad of the newer stuff, like the not newer, I mean newer artists. Like Brian Adams had one. Um, there's something about Christmas time. There's something about Christmas time. Makes you wish it was Christmas every day. I
Yep.
mean, just stuff like that. I mean, and I don't do it justice, but there are myriad of these newer artists that do Christmas songs. That's one of them I forgot. I could probably make a list of five classical Christmas songs and then five of these newer ones. You
Yeah.
know,
We
I
should
mean,
because Christmas is not for like another like 25 days or something like that.
mhm.
Or so. So we'll continue to do a holiday theme on some of these shows and we'll do more like, discussions on Christmas songs and Christmas movies and we'll keep it going for sure.
Yeah,
And
why
actually
not?
we could even do some Hanukkah stuff, some appreciation for like some Hanukkah music and things like that.
I
We're
love
not going
that
to be
stuff that what's his name did. The actor, you know what I'm talking about. He did the basketball movie recently
Adam
too.
Sandler.
Adam Sandler. That
Yeah.
song he did about Hanukkah, I thought that was great.
Oh my gosh, that is a classic.
Tell your friend Veronica.
Yeah,
I love that. I think
that's
it's good.
everyone should every year around Hanukkah and the holidays and Christmas, everyone should listen to that song because it's amazing.
Yeah, we should do some Hanukkah stuff too. Some Hanukkah. There are songs there that I could use. You know, I could use a little enlightenment there because I'm
Absolutely.
sure. Yeah,
Yeah, I respect the candle lighting and all that stuff, but
better believe it.
um, so let's move on to we're gonna finish the show really soon. Um, what was your most recent I guess Sunday spread that you had yesterday for football?
Oh, okay. Yeah, if it's interesting to you, fine. I mean, it's not. Look, I'm a regular type of John Madden type of guy, right? I'm gonna sit down here and if you know, especially during football season, it just doesn't have to be fancy. It just has to be something good and something that I don't allow myself to eat during the week because it's either too fattening or whatever the hell, right? So that's what Sunday is. Now, Sunday, what did I do this week? I wanted to change it up a little bit. And what I like, it's so simple. You wouldn't say, but a good deli sandwich, a good that you make at home. You take the meat out and you make your own stuff at home and whatever. But what I did was I got some good, soft Jewish rye bread, some Gulden's mustard, right? The good stuff. And I got myself some domestic ham, some Genoa salami, and just some straight up good American square cheese. Sometimes I like the provolone. Sometimes I just like the American square cheese, but cut right
American
from the
cheese
deli.
is the best.
It really, I mean, you're right. I love provolone too, but some reason with this, and you would think with the Genoa that I might want to go with the provolone. This just, for some reason, I've always just give me that square cheese. So I would say it's mostly ham and then some salami, some of the Genoa. And as you're making the sandwich, you're eating one slice and putting one slice down. You're eating one slice. It's hard to, and you're tearing it up. It was just so delicious. And just a good salami like that is just so good. And the ham itself wasn't shabby either. So the ham, the salami, and the square cheese with some good quality mustard on some soft rye bread. And then I just got my favorite flavor, one of my favorite flavors of good potato chip. I got the ridges, the ruffled, what was it? It was cheddar and sour cream was the flavor. Just really ate a half a bag of them with the sandwich. And I wanted to keep it because it was yesterday and the Eagles were playing, last night. I wanted to keep it an all Philly thing in my head. Not that all that stuff is exclusively Philly, but in my head, it reminded me of my dad and this kind of thing. But butterscotch crimpets, tasty cakes. So I had some of those for dessert. And it was good. I know a lot of people think, like, so what? It was just, and it's something that during the week, say, no, man, you can't be eating that because you got to get a turkey and, you do a little of this and keep it reasonable. So it was just one of those things where, in my head, like, wow, I'm 16 again, just in the kitchen, making whatever I want, eating whatever I want.
Yeah, I just love hearing your enthusiasm. This is what people have heard the show have said. Like you're so enthusiastic about everything, but when even your food, like we talked about this a little bit, but like even describing your food, I just you really the descriptions, the way you're talking about it, I'm like captivated when I'm listening. I'm like, oh, what's the next ingredient? What did he put? What kind of sauce was on that? Like, did you? What else? You had the Jewish rye, you had the ham, you had the salami, you had the American cheese. What else? What
the Golden's brown mustard.
You said the Golden's brown mustard. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
And do you have like a local deli or do you do a supermarket?
Supermarket. I go to ShopRite, and ShopRite has some good quality stuff. They really have some good quality meats.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Do you go with like boar's head? Anything specific or like
I usually go with black bear.
Black bear, interesting. Okay.
Yeah, which is a pretty good, boar's head or black bear. But I do try to go like top shelf. When I do the deli meats, I try to get the good stuff. It's funny you mentioned that, though. It brings me back because a lot of people think, well, so he's having a sandwich. What the hell's the best? But when I can remember in high school, a phys ed teacher I had, he was telling me, he's going, oh, yeah, Joe, I had a great weekend. He said, man, Saturday night, he said, and I'm not, I'm 18 years old, 18 years old. And I'm thinking, okay, Saturday night, a great weekend, man, you must be out partying or here or there or down at casinos with some women or this. In my head, I'm a young guy. And that's why, but he goes, man, I was home. And he says, I got some apple pie, man, a big old chunk of apple pie that was bigger than a catcher's mitt. And he said, after that, I had some vanilla ice cream. Man, it was unbelievable. And I'm thinking to myself, this guy, that's the extent of his weekend, is like a big deal. Like you had apple pie and ice cream, but he was about as old as I am now. Right. And as a 19-year-old kid looking at him, thinking like, what the heck? So what? Now I understand exactly what he was talking about, because when you get to a certain age in life, a certain point in life, and you got to take this for your cholesterol and you got to watch what you eat. And I say this a lot. And so for people who listen a lot, they know, but it really is true. It depends on where you are in this thing. And, when you can just let loose like that and you feel like, damn, I'm a teenager again in the kitchen eating whatever the hell I want. This is great. And that's basically what weekends pretty much are for, and especially football Sundays. But
I appreciate you sharing that. So
no problem.
We're going to wrap up today's show. I'm glad everybody tuned in again. This is episode 7. We're going to keep rolling, probably record every Monday and Friday. That's the plan. Maybe we'll do some bonus. Maybe we'll do some more episodes. Again, I'm on Twitter at SeanMatthew13, Instagram, SeanMatthew13. The podcast is on Spotify, Apple, TuneIn Radio. It's on the RSS feed. I'm just happy everyone's listening. Me and Joe are having a great time with this. We can't believe every time we're done recording, we say, I can't believe we just produced that product and we're releasing it to the world, because literally anybody in the world can hear our podcast. And this is a day and age we live in where we can, we can really just, be ourselves and just talk about different subjects that we're passionate about and share it with the world. So we're just happy to be doing this, and we're passionate about it, and we're having fun with it. That's the most important thing. So
Yes,
anyway,
sir.
everyone have a great, fantastic rest of your week. And I'm glad you listened.
Take care. Bye bye.